Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Former Senator Alvin Williams Jr. was in court again Thursday, this time for a hearing on his plea deal. Williams' attorney, Gordon Ray, entered an application to the court on Monday to change the plea, allowing Williams to plead guilty to racketeering. The hearing came before District Judge Curtis Gomez. News 2's Erica Bivens is standing by with this update. Erica?
Well, Alvin Williams Jr. was facing 9 counts in the indictment that was handed down to him in November. The allegations included racketeering, bribery, fraudulent claims, embezzlement, and other fraud connected with computers. But Williams may only face 1 of those 9 counts. His attorney, Gordon Ray, submitted a plea application to the court on Tuesday. In that document, Williams agreed to plead guilty to count 1, which deals with racketeering, while he served in the 27th, 28th, and 29th legislatures. Under the terms of the proposed plea deal, the government would drop the remaining counts. Now on Thursday, Williams told District Judge Curtis Gomez no one made threats or promises to make him offer the plea. Now, Williams also waived his right to a sentence appeal and trial, a sentence which bears a maximum of 20 years in prison plus a $250,000 fine. Meanwhile, plaintiff Kim Lindquist, representing the U.S. Attorney's Office, then read into the record several facts that could be proven if the case went to trial, to include one of his legislative staff members completing online coursework for him, influencing and promoting legislative action in support of the Raccoon Vistas housing project, of which Ace Development, Williams and his father's company, stood to gain from financially. Other allegations include Williams receiving tens of thousands of dollars in campaign contributions from Tutu Park Mall windmill project developers in exchange for legislative support, as well as attempting to bribe Public Works Commissioner Darrell Smalls with $10,000 cash in exchange for future work for Ace Development. Following that, Gomez asked Williams if all of it was true. He said it was. Gomez then read Williams' indictment on count 1. Williams pled guilty, which Gomez accepted. Now, Williams' terms of release will continue as is until his sentencing date on April 25th. Williams' plea deal is under seal because of highly sensitive information. In general, a sealed motion is filed to give a defendant a shorter sentence in exchange for them providing substantial assistance to the government in the prosecution of others. That said, the other defendants in the case, Ace Development, Kim Blackett, and Gary Sproul, will all be in court April 8th for their jury trial. Sandy?
Thanks for that, Erica. News 2 will continue to bring you updates on this case. Well, a recent website has made claims that a hospital named the United States Virgin Islands Hospital exists on St. Thomas, a claim that has government officials and Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs officials calling it an obvious scam and warning residents to be aware of similar fraudulent sites. News 2's Janisha John brings us more on this story.
It's a hospital that does not exist in real life, but exists on the web, as recent reports of a website claiming that there is a United States Virgin Islands hospital on St. Thomas has the word scam written all over it.
It clearly is a scam. The existence of the hospital there is no question. It is not there. And Virgin Islanders, along with the rest of the population, needs to be very conscious and aware that the scams exist and that you don't want to fall prey to them.
The website makes claims that the hospital offers a World Health Program in Africa and is located on the corner of Smith Bay and Shirley Street, providing an address and Google Map image on the site. However, no such address or hospital license exists, giving DLCA officials every reason to report the site to the proper authorities.
I think that all Virgin Islanders are aware that there is not a United States Virgin Islands hospital on St. Thomas. However, there is the possibility that others off-island could inadvertently become victims of this. What we have done within the department is to report it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, and to the National Consumer League, who also operates an Internet Complaint Center.
Officials say there is no clear motive as to why the site was created. However, residents are reminded that many similar scams do exist, and it's important to be careful with the information you release on the web.
Here within the territory, any scams that take place needs to be reported to us, but it also needs to be reported to law enforcement. We can never assume that what we see on the internet is absolute, that it's factual, that it's legitimate. We do want to verify wherever possible.
Jan, News 2.
Now, residents who have received solicitations of any kind and question their legitimacy or have experienced similar scams, you're asked to contact the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs. That number is 773-2226 on St. Croix and 774-3130 on St. Thomas and St. John. St. Croix's Acting Chief of Police, James Paris, wants to encourage all motorists to be mindful of road rules when driving on St. Croix highways. Motorists that use the new Christiansted bypass are reminded that the flashing red lights indicate that you come to a complete stop. Then proceed with caution. The flashing amber lights mean that you should proceed through the intersection with caution. Motorists that travel on the Melvin Evans Highway are reminded that all vehicles are required to stay in the left lanes except when passing. Lastly, all Virgin Islands drivers and passengers are also reminded to always wear seatbelts, use a hands-free device using a cell phone, and never text and drive. Well, there is some good news for the Christiansted town. By Friday, the areas that were recently dug up by WAPA to install underground electric and water lines should be repaved. WAPA's contractor, J. Benton Construction, began the final phase of repaving on Thursday. King Cross Street from Strand Street to King Street was closed to vehicular traffic so work crews could pave the uprooted streets. Repaving was also done at the intersection of Queen Cross Street and Strand to the Boardwalk and Strand Lane. Underground work is expected to continue this week on King Street. Work crews are trenching, laying conduits, and covering up the open trench daily from Prince Street to King Cross Street until that section of King Street is completed. Motorists can use the Christiansted bypass to access the lower areas of King Street and Christiansted Town. The roadways remain open to foot traffic. Well, on Saturday, the VI National Guard promoted one of their own. Master Sergeant Eugene Farrell was promoted Saturday to the rank of Sergeant Major at the Armory's Drill Hall. Farrell currently serves full-time as the Training and Operations Directorate Sergeant Major. With this promotion, he will assume duties as the Command Sergeant Major of the 786 Combat Sustainment Support Battalion in St. Thomas. Last April, Farrell completed the U.S. Army Sergeant's Major Academy to become eligible for the promotion. Congratulations to him. The D.C. Metro Area Virgin Islands Association will hold its second inaugural ball to honor the re-election of President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. The event takes place this weekend in Alexandria, Virginia. Confirmed speakers include Paul Matero, Obama's Associate Director of Public Engagement, VI Delegate to Congress Donna Christensen, and several members of the newly formed VI 30th Legislature. News 2 will have highlights from that event. Meanwhile, members of the VI National Guard will be making their way to Washington, D.C. for the President's inauguration. The VING will provide special assistance to the District of Columbia National Guard, which is supporting several law enforcement agencies during the 2013 presidential inauguration. Well, he was the most important voice of the American civil rights movement, which worked for equal rights for all. On August 28, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. We will share some excerpts from this historic speech and more. Be sure to tune in to News 2 on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 21st at 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. as we recognize the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's right here on CBS TV2. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The U.S. is condemning militants for taking Americans and several others hostage in Algeria. There have been reports of escapes as well as casualties during the unfolding crisis. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from the State Department.
U.S. officials are trying to get a handle on the hostage situation at this natural gas plant in Algeria. The Algerian military surrounded the remote plant where militants took dozens of foreign workers hostage, including some Americans. But the rescue operation may have been botched. Algerian security officials say helicopters fired on people fleeing the compound, killing militants and some hostages.
This is a fluid situation. We are seeking clarity from the Algerian government about this matter.
One diplomatic source says 4 Americans were able to escape. Gunmen stormed the plant Wednesday afternoon with AK-47s and RPGs. Some were wearing suicide vests. Hostage taking is not uncommon in this part of Africa, but the scale of this militant operation is prompting the State Department to review security for the whole region. An al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group that calls itself the Masked Brigade is claiming responsibility. The group says it took the hostages in response to Algeria's cooperation with French troops fighting Islamic militants in neighboring Mali.
Instability in Mali has created the opportunity for a staging base and safe haven for terrorists.
Secretary Clinton has been in regular contact with the Algerian Prime Minister about the unfolding situation. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
An unarmed American Predator drone is at the gas plant, offering U.S. officials their first independent look at the situation. In keeping our eye on the economy, 2 banks are out with impressive earnings. Goldman Sachs profits nearly tripled last quarter, and JP Morgan Chase's earnings shot up 55%. The parent company of American Airlines reversed a year ago loss, turning a profit of more than $260 million. Last quarter, American is considering merging with U.S. Airways or remaining independent. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all up. The Dow 84, NASDAQ 18, S&P 8. Coming up on News 2, the latest on the national flu epidemic and a reminder to get your flu shot. It's not too late. Free vaccinations are scheduled in the VI. Plus, have you heard about the Solar Splash concert? Lots of fun in the sun, great music, but most of all, presentations, vendors, and more, all focused on the power of the green economy. We'll be right back. The VI National Park is looking for your opinion on a plan to ban smoking on all of its beaches and bathrooms and within 50 feet of its picnic areas and buildings. The purpose, according to Acting Superintendent Mike Anderson, is to protect visitors and the marine environment. One of the problems is people leaving behind cigarette butts, which are toxic and can hurt wildlife. If you would like to comment, you can email Anderson or visit the VI National Park in Cruz Bay. You have until January 28th. The Virgin Islands Montessori School and International Academy has gone solar in a big way and wants to celebrate it just as big by holding a huge Solar Splash concert. The concert takes place on January 26th from 3 to 9 p.m. at the school. Live bands like Soul Driving Train, the Sheffield Crew, and Full Circle will be playing along with available food, drinks, and solar experts. To help you start saving on your next light bill, the fair will be held under the latest addition to the school's solar arrays, which is expected to help the school save over $6,500 monthly in WAPA bills. Well, Friday evening from 7:30 to 10:30, the University of the Virgin Islands College of Science and Mathematics, along with the Edelman Observatory, will hold a public observing session. Guests will be treated to views of the planet Jupiter with its Galilean moons and the Orion Nebula star-forming region. There will also be a video presentation and lecture on the nature of black holes. The event is free of charge, and anyone interested should RSVP by emailing dmorris@uvi.edu. Well, sometimes teachers find it impossible to make subjects like science and history interesting for their students, but it appears as though the staff at Faith Alive Christian Academy have been able to mix a successful blend for their annual science fair, and children all had the opportunity to choose between their own different interests. Some included the water cycle, the life of the butterfly, and even the creation of hot air balloons. Students spent many weeks researching their topics and found the most creative ways to present what they learned.
As you can see, you had live examples from a hot air balloon, lights, generators, butterfly life cycle, water life cycle. So they were all marvelous projects. The students put in a lot of work. They did notes, journals, hypotheses. They were excellent, just hands down. They were excellent.
The Department of Agriculture is inviting all farmers and poultry owners to an educational workshop next week in both districts. It's called Disease Prevention Strategies for Farmers. The event will focus on management and biosecurity plans. The Veterinary Services Division have been fully trained and will be bringing this critical information to farmers and poultry owners. This inquiry workshop will be held Tuesday, January 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. at UVI's Cooperative Extension in room 133. The St. Thomas workshop will be on Wednesday, January 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. at the SPDC Center in Niski Center. Well, the best beards in town will be parading up and down the Christiansted Boardwalk on Saturday. That's when the 5th annual Beard Team USA Beard Contest will be taking place starting around 2 p.m. The event is co-sponsored by Crew de Croix and Big Beard's Adventure Tours and will feature judges Dennis Dickerson of Beard Team USA and Captain Big Beard himself.
There's a nominal entrance fee and there'll be tongue-in-cheek prizes. There are many categories. There's the full beard category, there's the partial beard, the goatee, the mustache, the sideburns, and certainly the fake beard. And one of the most popular categories is the women's beard. And they go all out putting different things on their face. It's pretty fun and funny and just lots of fun.
Be sure to check that out. Well, the Department of Health will be holding its free seasonal flu outreach activities territory-wide. As just a reminder, flu shots will be administered on St. Thomas at the Royal Schneider Hospital lobby on Friday, January 18th, and that's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Shots will also be administered on St. Croix on the same day and time at the Charles Harwood Complex lobby. Now on St. John, shots will be available on Thursday, January 24th at the Morris F. DeCastro Clinic. That's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Be sure to bring your immunization cards. With the flu outbreaks across the country, many pharmacies are restocking vaccines to meet the demand, and a new study is underway to test a new flu drug. Randall Pinkston reports from New Jersey.
People lined up at this Walgreens in New York City waiting to get a flu shot. The drugstore chain received a new shipment of the vaccine after running out over the weekend. Clinton Henry showed up early to make sure he got one.
There's a lot of people here. When I came in earlier, they were completely out. So I said, come back at 2 o'clock, we'll get more then. It's first come, first serve. So at 2:01, I was here.
The outbreak in New York State is the worst in 4 years, prompting officials to declare a public health emergency. Nationwide, 47 states are reporting widespread cases of the virus. The vaccine is about 67% effective, and if you get the flu after getting the shot, symptoms are usually milder. At Holy Name Medical Center in New Jersey, researchers are looking for flu patients to test a new experimental treatment. The drug is designed to alleviate symptoms, much like Tamiflu.
This drug can treat strains of influenza that are resistant to Tamiflu. And because the virus replicates so rapidly, there's always the opportunity for mutation.
Flu patients enrolled in the study will have to come here to Holy Name Hospital 6 days in a row. Some will get an oral drug, others will receive a placebo. Holy Name is one of 70 sites nationwide taking part in this phase of the study. It will take years before the drug is available to the public. Randall Pinkston, News 2.
And the Department of Defense is funding this study. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.